Welcome to the world of Gran Turismo 7. The intent of this video is for new players to get the most out of their game, or for players who are curious about the progression system and finding out when different parts of the game become available. We're going to go from the first install all the way through 2 progression systems until the game is fully unlocked. So sit back and enjoy, and we'll also show you some cars that you should be buying versus others that you may not want to buy. When you first install the game, the only thing that will be available is Music Rally. This will actually be available before the game fully installs, and you'll be forced to run the first level, which is an introduction to the game itself. It takes the place of arcade mode, and the Music Rally ends up using a checkpoint system and has a distance goal to achieve before the music stops or before running out of time between checkpoints. Other than opening up the world map, Music Rally is completely separate from the rest of the game. Each completed song will open up the next one in line, but if you're not particularly interested in this mode, it's good to know there's no distance or position requirement to open up the world map. Just enter the race, play it or don't play it, and then you're free to move on. When you first load, you'll have to watch the intro video, and there's no way to skip it. But you can skip it in the future if you do want, or you can actually go into one of the menus and select an option so that it doesn't play anymore. After that's completed, you get introduced into the world map and you'll be brought into the used car market. When you first start off with the game, you're given $20,000 to buy your first car. You may have been given more to start depending on the version of the game you purchased. But if you're starting with the 20,000, you'll only be able to select one of the top 3. The one you select is not at all important because you'll get the opportunity to win all 3 of these cars in short order. So select the one that you'd like to own twice. The used car inventory is a rotating stock, and vehicles will be cycled in and out daily. This menu offers a discount on some newer vehicles found in Brand Central, which we'll go over later, and is also the only place you can find some of the cars built before the year 2000. Any cars needed to complete cafe menus will appear at the top of this menu even if they are not scheduled to be in stock, but it is not necessary to purchase any of those vehicles for the first 39 cafe menus. This is also where you'll eventually be able to sell cars, but this will only be unlocked after cafe menu number 39. Speaking of the cafe, this is one of the 2 progression systems in the game. These menus are the closest thing to a career mode that Gran Turismo has. They will provide some level of instruction as well as vehicle history and walk you through the game itself. There are 39 menus from the base game, and although Polyphony has been adding more through different updates, there are no game modes unlocked behind level 39. You'll mainly get roulette tickets after that point, and there is actually a separate extra menu system which is solely based on collecting cars, which will get you even more roulette tickets. The second progression system is the collector level. This will unlock parts of the game as well, and is strictly based on purchased or won cars. I'll be referring to the progression system as credits spent, but Gran Turismo will also give you the same credit for winning a $10,000 car as if you were to buy one. Also, buying 10 $10,000 cars is exactly the same in this category as buying one $100,000 car. Modifying cars does not add anything towards completing your collector level, so in this case, buying a competitive car is far better than building up a sleeper. Each collector point is based on 1,000 credits spent, so in order to reach level 50, you'll need to spend or win a total of 54,450,000 credits. There is no level 51, so once you hit level 50, you're all set. Along with the cafe, when you purchase your first car, you also get the garage available. This is where you'll find your vehicle inventory, and the icon on the map will change as your collection grows. You can also use the garage to adjust your car settings, and your roulette tickets that are awarded will end up in the garage as well. And then as you unlock roulette tickets, you'll also have your tuning parts and engines stored in this location. There's also a Scapes tab, which will show you your current vehicle in motion and a collector's tab, which will show you any vehicles that you have owned in the past, even if you've sold them. I would advise against selling any vehicles until completing the cafe menus, but we'll discuss that more later on. World circuits are where a good bit of the single-player racing takes place. You'll start off with very few options and unlock more as you work your way through the cafe menus, although there are some events that are also locked behind collector level 31, 33, and 35. The tracks are organized by location, which can be a bit confusing, but you can chase the compass icon while working your way through the cafe menus. The 1.4 update brought us the event directory, which sorts races by race type, as well as the weekly events option, which makes rerunning races a little bit more rewarding. The championship races are located at the bottom of the main screen, and these can also be rerun as often as you like, but the prize cards are only awarded once. Cafe Menu 2 brings you the License Center, and if you've played Gran Turismo before, you'll be familiar with it. There are 5 base game licenses as well as 5 additional Masterclass licenses that were added in the 1.4 update. You'll only need National B and A in order to complete the championship races, and the rest can be used to unlock free cars. The tuning shop is initially unlocked at collector level 4 and gives you both sport and club sports parts to choose from. You'll get semi-racing for hitting level 5, racing for level 6, and extreme for collector level 7. In order to hit level 7, you'll need to have 730,000 credits invested in the purchase price of cars. The ultimate parts are not unlocked until collector level 50. Remember, spending credits on these parts does not add to the collector level progression. After Cafe Menu 4, you get Brand Central unlocked, which is where you buy brand new cars. This is anything from the year 2000 forward, and that also includes the SEMA show cars that might even be older than that. But keep in mind, even though this is not a rotating stock, there are some invitational cars in Europe that you need to win an invitation through roulette, and you cannot purchase those cars without that ticket. There are also some cars that don't really fit in another category under the Gran Turismo heading, and those are found in Asia. Scapes has opened up at Cafe Menu 7. It's an area in the game where you can take very realistic photos of up to 3 of your vehicles at a time. You don't need to be in the vehicle, and you actually get to select from your garage, so it's a nice feature to have. There is a menu that walks you through it, but if you're familiar with working with digital cameras, you'll likely be able to take even better photos than I can. I do use this feature pretty frequently, so it's a pretty nice addition to the game. A feature I actually missed talking about was the showcase. This is actually opened up way back at Cafe Menu 1. This is actually a nice place to share your photos that you've just taken and works like an in-game social media. Being honest, I didn't even know this was part of the game until I started working on this video. GT Auto is also unlocked after Cafe Menu 7. There are 3 sections in GT Auto. Car maintenance and service is where you can maintain your car by cleaning it, performing oil changes, and overhauling the engine and chassis to restore the integrity of the car. You can also do some modification work on some vehicles here with wide body options, and after collector level 50, some cars allow you to purchase engine swaps as well. At the time of making the video, if a car has an engine swap available, you only get one to choose from. So in the Mazda RX-8, you can put in a 4-rotor motor out of the 787B, but you couldn't put in a LS motor or anything like that. I don't expect multiple engines to be added to the game in future updates either, so my dream of a RB26 swap Hakosuka will just have to wait. In the next section, you'll find car customization. Here you can change your wheels, although not all wheels fit all vehicles. Purchase paint colors. Notice here that this does not actually paint the car. And you can purchase aerodynamic parts as well as cosmetic parts. There is also a livery editor where you can use those paint colors you just purchased to paint the car how you like. You can also load custom liveries that have been uploaded by the GT community. When selecting this, you must match the stock or wide body option for your car, but the required wheels, colors, and aerodynamic components will all be added up for purchase automatically. If the colors and parts are already owned, swapping liveries is free. The final section is the driving gear. This is where you can edit the look of your suit and helmet. There are a few helmets and suits to choose from, but they will initially be locked behind collector levels. The various helmets unlock on collector's level 9, 13, 16, and 22, and the suits unlock at 11, 14, and 18. Cafe Menu 9 unlocks multiplayer and sport mode. We'll look at multiplayer first. Multiplayer allows you to link up with other players locally or online. The lobby is best if you're grouping up with friends or looking for specific people and driving styles. Paddock mode is more like a track day and does not rely on a host being in control. So if you want to just randomly pop in and pop out, that's the better mode. And then split screen is for local racers to play on the same console, and you can have up to 4 racers playing in this mode. Sport mode is also unlocked at this point and is a more structured multiplayer racing environment. There are 3 types of races: daily races, time trials, and championship races. They also track your driving level, so make sure that if you want to be with clean drivers, you drive cleanly. Taking a closer look at daily races, there's an A, B, and C option. These are changed out weekly and usually consist of a GT4 race, GT3, and a third race that can be almost anything. When you're ready, simply log into the game and you shouldn't have to wait long for the next race. If there is a wait time, you can hit the track for some practice, and your fastest lap will be used as your qualifying time for when the race starts. In most cases, there's a BOP, or balance of power, applied to the vehicles used in sport mode to even out the vehicles being raced. In most cases, even the suspension setup and aerodynamics are regulated by the game. Up next are time trials. We normally get one of these a week with 2 weeks to complete it, but there are often special events that are added to the game as well. The top 3% of drivers will get the gold payout, the top 5 will get silver, and the top 10% will get the bronze tier. The payout will show up when the event is over, but these target times may move as more racers submit their lap times. The championship races are the last mode and consist of a national race and a manufacturer's race. They are done on select days and can be anywhere from once a week to once a month. The national race will let you know which car you're using for each individual race. You can either use your own and have balance of power applied to it, or you can rent a car for these specific races. These do have a dedicated qualifying time, and the standings will be calculated throughout the season, and you'll get a bigger payout towards the end. The Manufacturers Cup, on the other hand, has you sign up with a specific manufacturer of your choosing at the beginning of the season. You'll then use their cars throughout the entire season. You'll be provided with a GT3 and GT4 car at the beginning of the entry period, but any modifications done to those supplied vehicles will be lost when the contract expires. So I'd recommend buying your own cars from Brand Central. When buying these vehicles, you may get more options as well. For example, the Subaru Impreza is provided to you, but you can use the BRZ in the GT3 races. This process is repeated for every season, so if you found you've signed up with a car that you're not too comfortable with, you can change that at the beginning of the next season. In the garage, you can see the contract cars are marked with the green checkered flag. That way you're sure not to modify them, and you can modify the one you've purchased instead. The last important note I'd like to mention is to make sure to check the race details before your race to check for any requirements. This will help you avoid heavy time penalties at the end of the race. As you can see here, for this race you'll be required to use both medium and soft tires. Although not all races have these requirements, it is important to check. After Cafe Menu 12, you'll unlock missions. The Magic Mountain is given to you, but the rest are unlocked through collector level 10, 12, 15, 17, 19, and 23. Many of these races have a similar feel to the License Center and will award cars for completion. The Eco Challenge on Beyond the Horizon is a timed event that focuses on getting the most range out of limited fuel. There are other specific races such as drift missions and chase races where the lower level cars are set off before the higher performance vehicle that is set to chase down that higher level car. The human comedy was actually added later on in the game, and that consists completely of 1 hour endurance races. That's the latest one, and that's unlocked at level 23. Legend Cars is where you'll find the most expensive cars in the game. This location opens up after Cafe Menu 17 and is typically consisting of rare or historic vehicles. They can range anywhere in price from $100,000 all the way to $20 million. This collection rotates just like the used car collection, only there's a smaller display area, so it can be a little harder to collect all of these. But I would still recommend getting through the Brand Central Invitational cars first because they're subject to the roulette tickets. After Cafe Menu 39, you'll receive the extra menus in the cafe. These are completed simply by owning the listed cars. For that reason, these are the ones I'd recommend purchasing on your way to Collector Level 50. They will continue to unlock as you make your way towards 50, but you can buy them beforehand. Just make sure you don't sell the car before you've collected the ticket. I'm grateful for all of you for watching these videos, and please subscribe and hit that like button so you don't miss any future content. Thank you guys so much, and I hope you have a great day.